Hello, everyone. Happy Sunday. I hope you have had a lovely weekend. It's time to have a little bit of a stretch and probably a snooze, which is absolutely fine if you fall asleep. We are going to be working through a few specific areas that you guys flagged, but also just a general full body stretch as well. We're going to keep it very zen today, so we're going to be working from the floor and taking it very, very chill. But when you're ready, if you're using the playlist, just pop it on from the beginning for me, and then make your way over to your mat. We're going to start cross-legged today, and just make sure before we get started that you have got your cushion, your band or strap, and also some water as well. And once you reach your mat, just cross those legs over for me. And then I want you to cross them the other way. So the opposite way to the way that you normally would, just so we help to balance out that body and stretch the tighter areas of our lower half. Perfect. We're going to start by bringing the hands to the knees and slowly just closing the eyes down. Just going to work through some neck rotation. So going to bring the chin down to the chest. And then we're going to bring it over to the left-hand side, around the back, over to the right-hand side, and back down. I'm just moving this way 3 times. Slowly, whatever pace you need to go at. And last time. Starting to calm down that breathing in through the nose and out through the mouth. And when you reach the center this time, going the other way. So up to the right first, all the way back, over to the left and down. And again, we're just going to work through 3 times in total. Perfect. And last one for me. And when you reach the center this time, keeping the chin tucked, I want you to take the hands up to the back of the head, interlink the fingers, take a nice deep breath in. And as you breathe out, just apply a little bit of pressure to the back of that neck, keeping the shoulders nice and relaxed, and just stretching through the back of those shoulders and into the neck as well. Holding here, and with your next exhale, just adding a little bit more if you can. And in 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Slowly, carefully bringing that head back up. And take the left arm out to the side. The right hand's going to come up to the left hand side of the head, and we're just going to tilt that side over to the right, feeling a nice deep stretch down the left hand side of your neck and into the arm as well. Slowly breathing in and out, walking the fingers a little further away if you want to increase the level of the stretch at any time. Nice, well done, guys. Perfect. And slowly bringing yourself back into the middle. And then taking the right hand out to the side, the left hand up and over, and bringing the head over to the left. Nice and slowly. Nice deep breath in through the nose and out through the mouth. Well done. Again, walking the hand a little bit further away if you want to increase that stretch. And using every exhale to take the stretch a little bit deeper if you can. And in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, bringing yourself up to the center. And we're going to wiggle those legs out into a straddle position. Make sure you've got your strap nearby. Grab yourself a sip of water if you need a little bit of a break. Now, it doesn't matter how wide you have the legs at all, just make sure it's comfortable for you first. Once we're here, we're going to take the arms up in front of us so that they are parallel to the floor. Bring the hands so that the palms are facing each other. Take them over to the left leg and then slowly lower the chest down towards the thigh on that left leg. Now we want to make sure that the toes on the left-hand side are pointing back towards the forehead as much as we can. And this is just going to let us sink into a nice deep stretch down the back of those hamstrings. Now, if you need, you can grab your band or strap to help bring those toes back towards you and increase the stretch as we go. Just for every exhale, see if you can lower yourself a little bit further and releasing any tension. We don't want to be tensing that thigh. We want it to be nice and loose as we breathe into that hamstring. Holding here. Close those eyes down if you haven't already. I'm going to hold here for another 10. And in 3, 2, and 1, carefully bring yourself back up, back to the center. Hands come out in front, take them over to the right this time, and sinking the chest down towards that right leg. Now again, either using your band or your hand to just move those toes so that they are coming in towards that forehead and lengthening that stretch. Keeping it nice and relaxed through the breathing. Remembering to breathe in through the nose and out through the mouth. With every exhale, just trying to sink that chest a little bit lower if you can. And holding here for another 10. And in 3, 2, and 1, releasing and bringing yourself back up. We're going to tuck the right leg in to the left so that we've got the base of the foot just on the inside of the thigh. Now just give yourself a bit of a wiggle and shake everything out so far. We're then going to take the left hand down to the mat. The right hand's going to come up overhead and we're going to stretch nice and deep through the right hand side of that body. Should feel a nice deep stretch all the way from the hip up the side, even into the armpit and into the arm as well. Remember closing down those eyes if you'd like to, just to help you tune out and into that body. And then gradually just bring the right arm even further down and coming back into that chest over the leg stretch on that left hand side and stretching through that hamstring once more. If you can, use the hand to add a little bit of flexion to the foot so that the toes are pointing towards the forehead. If you need to use the band, then just wrap that around and use that instead. And this time we're just going to stay here for about 40 seconds, taking a nice deep stretch through that hamstring and into that calf as well. Nice, Molly. Perfect, Gemma. Well done, Emily. Breathing in through the nose, out through the mouth. And using every exhale to just increase the stretch a little bit further if you can. Perfect. And in 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1, bringing yourself back up carefully, taking the right leg out and bringing the left foot into the inner thigh. This time, just give yourself a little bit of a wiggle and a reset before taking the right arm down to the right hand side and bringing that left arm up and over this time, stretching through that left hand side. Perfect. Well done, Rowan. Try and extend that stretch a little bit further now if you can, reaching that left hand a little bit further away. And then carefully bringing that left hand down towards the leg as we come into that fold over the right leg this time, once more. Again, using the band or the hands to flex that foot a little bit more and increase the depth of that hamstring stretch. You can either lay your hands either side, on the shin, on the foot, wherever you want to have them. That's absolutely fine. We're going to hold here for another 40 seconds this time. Focus on that breathing. Well done. Well done, Sophie. Perfect. Another 10 seconds, guys. Sinking a little bit more, if you can, for these final few moments. And in 3, 2, and 1. Just carefully bring yourself back up. And this time we're going to send both legs out in front of us. Perfect. Now we're just going to start off by working through a little bit of ankle flexion. So bringing your hands behind you, just resting carefully onto the palms of the hands. We're going to start off just by pointing the toes as far as we can before flexing them back as far as we can. So just working through a little bit of ankle stretching out across the top of the feet when we point, and stretching through both the shins and the calves when we bring the feet into flexion. Well done. It's a really simple little stretch that you can do, but just keeping them nice and active is a good way to make sure those ankles stay nice and strong and we don't have a buildup of tension as well. On your next point, I just want you to hold the point for me through both feet, sorry. Just keep the point going. Breathing in through the nose, out through the mouth. Hold it there for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Coming into flexion, and hold it there for me. Holding the flexion this time. Nice and deep on that breathing. And for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Relaxing the legs off. Just sit yourself back up onto the bum nice and carefully. And we're just going to have one last stretch down the back of those hamstrings here, but this time with both of the legs out in front. So when you're ready, just start to fold that chest down towards the legs, keeping a slight bend underneath the knee, and just reaching either for the shin, the ankle, or perhaps the toes, depending on what level of motion you've got and how those hamstrings are feeling. Now, as with our other hamstring stretches, the more flexed our toes are back towards the head, the more of a stretch you are going to feel. So feel free, once again, to loop that band or the hands around the backs of the feet to help you lengthen. And just slowly relax those knees more towards the floor and lose a little bit of the bend with each breath. Well done, guys. I'm going to be holding here for another 45 seconds. Well done, Georgina. Nice, Emily. Keep breathing. Well done, guys. Make sure you're not holding any tension in those hips. And in 3, 2, and 1, slowly bring yourself back up. Just give the legs a little bit of a shake, one at a time, to stretch them off. When you're ready, coming back to our cross-legged position on the mat, make sure you're crossing those legs the opposite way to how you normally would. We're just going to work through a few spinal rotations here to help ease out that lower back a little bit. So we're going to take the right hand over to the left knee. Then you're going to take the left arm round and behind you. Just going to have to wiggle forward a bit, round and behind you. And we're going to look over that left shoulder behind us. Now, the more you walk that left hand away from you, the more of a stretch you're going to start to feel. Use that pressure on the left knee with the right hand to twist yourself a little bit more as you go. It's a really nice stretch for both the lower back and the mid back as well. So if you've been hauled up at a desk all week, other than the last 2 days, this is a really helpful one for you. Take a nice deep breath in. And as you breathe out, just give it a little bit more of a twist. Perfect. And in 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Bring yourself back to the center. Give the shoulders a couple of rolls and then bring the left hand to the right knee. The right hand comes behind this time and we look over the right shoulder as we move into our twist this way. Try and keep the chest proud, the shoulders down. Don't let the body hunch over. Perfect. Well done, guys. Looking nice and upright. And on your next exhale, just use it to give a little bit more of a twist if you can. And in 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Bring yourself back to center for me. Taking the left leg out in front of you, you're just going to cross the right leg over so that we've got the left leg flat on the floor, right leg has the foot just on the outside of the left. You're going to bring your left arm around the leg, taking the right hand behind you, move into that twist again as you squeeze that right knee with the left arm into you and feel a nice deep stretch all the way up the back of the right glutes, and also carry on stretching through that back as well. Now it's quite a tricky one to breathe in because we're squishing those lungs as we're bringing that knee in towards us, but try and focus on keeping some nice deep inhales and exhales. Well done, guys. And in 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Lowering off that right leg down to the floor. Bring the left leg and cross it over for me. Right arm comes round this time. Left hand comes round behind you, and we squeeze that knee in towards us as we twist around to the left. So you should have the left leg crossed over the right arm hugging that left leg into you, and the left arm behind you. And again, just make sure to keep that body nice and upright. We're all looking very perfectly upright. Well done. Again, this is a nice one for those glutes, but also you might be able to feel the stretch slightly in the lower back as well. And that twist in the mid back too. Nice. And in 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Release off for me. Grab yourself a sip of water before we come into the next little bit of today's stretch. Are we starting to feel a little bit looser? Thumbs up if we're feeling a little bit looser. Fantastic. So we're going to come up onto all fours for me. The knees are going to be underneath the hips. Hands are going to be underneath the shoulders. Once you're there, just want you to try and find that neutral spine for me. So I don't want to see any dips or rises. Just want to try and see nice and flat. Then we're going to bring the feet together, knees out to the sides, and we're going to sit back into our child's pose. So sitting back onto those heels for me. Sending the bum as far back as you can, whilst walking those hands out away from you. Bring the forehead to the mat and just close those eyes down. Keep the breath going in through the nose and out through the mouth. Now, as well as focusing on stretching through the hip and groin area, we want to make sure we're stretching through that back as well. So really dig the fingertips into the mat, and you'll notice that as you dig the fingertips, the back muscles really start to turn on and activate in the stretch. We're going to hold here for another 30 seconds. So really just focus on yourself now, how you're feeling in this stretch. If you're noticing any areas where you feel a little bit tighter perhaps, just store them up in your head as we go through today's class, and drop me a little message later and we can make sure that we've got some more stretches for those areas. And in 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1, we're simply going to walk the hands this time over to the left hand side, staying folded. We're just walking the hands round to the left in our child's pose as we stretch through the right hand side of the body, keeping the bum down on the heels. Should feel a nice deep stretch in the bottom of the right shoulder blade here, and also maybe down into the hip as well. Keeping the breath in through the nose and out through the mouth. In through the nose and out through the mouth. And walking the hands round to the right now for me. Remember to keep yourself in that sit back position, but this time should be feeling a nice deep stretch in the back underneath the left shoulder blade this time. Well done. Try and imagine that breath you're inhaling is going directly to that left shoulder. And then as you breathe out, you're breathing out any tension that was there. Walking the hands back to the center for me. Just give yourself one last push back onto those heels and dig those fingers into the floor as we just take another 30 seconds in our child's pose. Well done. Now our next stretch, we're going to move into our downward dog very shortly. So if you're not sure how to get from our child's pose up to our downward dog, then just follow on your screen as we move together. We're going to tuck the toes underneath us, and really simply we're just going to push the hips up to the sky as we bring the heels down to the floor. Now this is our first downward dog today, so those legs might be feeling a little bit tight. If they are, just start walking through your downward dog. So bending one knee and then the other. Slowly walking out and feeling whereabouts in the backs of those legs are the tightest. Is it the hamstrings or is it the calves? Where do we need to focus on for you today during these stretches? Well done, Emily, looking really good. Nice, Molly. Keep it going, guys. Good work. Perfect. Now from our downward dog, pushing those heels into the floor, we're just going to walk the hands forward slightly and bring ourselves to a high plank position. Lower the knees to the floor, untuck the toes, lower the chest down to the floor. And when you're ready, we're just going to push ourselves up into our upward dog instead. Now, as you move into your upward dog, try to make sure you're not squeezing the bum. Just try and release any tension through the glutes as we look up to the sky and looking over the left shoulder. All of these little twists are just going to help with that back. And then over to the right. Coming back to center, bringing the feet together, knees wide, and sitting back into our child's pose again. Now we're really simply going to move through that exact flow one more time. If you'd like to join, then follow through. If not, then just stay in your child's pose for the next few stretches whilst we move through. If at any point you want to come back to the child's pose, then do feel free to. So we're going to tuck those toes, heels and bum come up, and we're into our downward dog again. Walking through those legs, perhaps this time feeling like you actually might just want to push the heels down to the floor and stretch through the backs of the legs the whole time. Try shifting the weight around from left to right slightly and just seeing how it feels in different positions. If you find any area which feels quite nice, then just stay there and use that. Option, of course, to keep walking through. And when you're ready, walking the hands slightly higher, coming to our high plank, lowering the knees to the floor, untucking the toes, chest comes down and pushing up into our upward dog. Again, releasing any tension from the glutes. So if you're squeezing them, let it go. I know it feels a bit strange. And then looking over the left shoulder. And then the right shoulder. Left shoulder once more this time. And then the right shoulder. Bringing the feet together and knees wide back into our child's pose. Now, we are going to do one more, but it's purely optional. So if you'd like to join for one more, then we're going to move straight into it. So tuck those toes up into the downward dog and starting to walk through or hold. If you're comfortable just staying in your child's pose this time, then I just want you to close those eyes and have a think about what you've achieved during this week's training. And keep one thing in your mind that you're really pleased with this week, that you can take away from today's session and channel into the week ahead. Walking the hands forwards to our high plank, knees to the floor, untuck the toes, lower the chest, and pushing yourself up into our upward dog, over the left shoulder, over the right shoulder. And this time, instead of sitting back onto your heels, we're just going to come up onto the knees and swing the legs round in front of us instead. Grab your pillow for me and bring it to the top of your mat, and just take this opportunity to have another sip of water before we move into our final section of today's stretches. So as you probably guessed, we're going to be coming down onto our backs. So slowly lowering yourself down once you're ready and finding a comfortable position. Now, you just need to make sure that your strap is nearby. So make sure it's nearby before you lower yourself down. Now we're going to bring the base of the feet together and just allow the knees to flop out to the side. Now this can be a bit of a reliever on the lower back, as it just applies a little bit of pressure. If you want to add some more pressure, you can use your fingers to just push the knees down a little bit further. Well done. Just holding here, allowing gravity to sink those legs as far as they can go. Perfect. Bringing the feet flat, the knees coming into a bent position. We're going to cross the right foot onto the left leg, and we're going to lean through the gap, bringing either our hands to the back of the hamstring or to the shin as we move into our figure of 4 glute stretch. So you should be feeling a nice deep stretch down the back of the right glute here. Believe it or not, someone specifically requested this stretch, so it's good to know it's someone's favorite. Now remember, you've got options here to increase the stretch should you wish. Moving the hands from the hamstring to the shin will increase the depth slightly, or taking the right hand and applying a little bit of a pressure onto the right knee is also going to increase the stretch a little for you as well. Just with every exhale, see if you can hug that leg a little bit further in. Keeping that breathing going. Don't let the shoulders build up any tension. Keep them nice and relaxed. Going to be holding here for another 30 seconds. So we're keeping our holds nice and long in our floor stretches today. Keep the breathing going. Well done, Rowan. Nice, Gemma. And in 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. We're going to lower that left foot to the floor. And then we're going to take the right foot up into our hamstring stretch. So grabbing your band for me, loop it around the base of the foot. And now we're either going to keep the left leg bent, or you can flatten it out, whichever you'd prefer, as we start to just bring that leg closer towards the head in our hamstring stretch, remembering to keep a little bit of a bend in the knee. Don't lock out that knee joint, keep a little bit of a bend. Now, if you've got the knee on the left-hand side bent, if you unbend at any point and take it down to the floor, that's going to increase the stretch for you as well. Well done, guys. Let's try and channel, tune out from the stretch. Just allow the body to release any tension. Quite often with this hamstring stretch, you might be keeping some tension in the hip socket. If you can feel that, just try and let it go. Well done, Emily. And in 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1, unlooping your band, bringing the right foot to the bent position, crossing the left leg over onto the right, and then leaning through the gap once more, taking a hold into our figure of 4 stretch this time, and bringing the right leg in as we stretch through the left glute. Nice deep breath in, and out. Again, holding here for a little while. So really focus on relaxing off any tension. And remember, we can increase the stretch at any time by moving from the hamstring to the shin, or by using the left hand to add a little bit of pressure on that left knee as well. Well done, Georgina. Perfect, guys. Holding for another 10. And in 3, 2, and 1, lowering the right foot to the floor. Unfold that left leg for me up to the sky. Bring that band around or that strap around, whatever you're using today, and starting to move into our hamstring stretch here. Remember, you can keep the right leg bent or you can bring it flat to the floor if you wish, but make sure you keep a bend through that left knee. Don't lock out leg. Well done. With every exhale, see if you can bring it a little bit closer to the head. If anyone's got the shakes like I have, then just try and relax a little bit. And in 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1, unwrap it and lowering it down. We're taking both legs flat to the floor. And we're just going to finish off with one final little rotation to the back. So taking the right arm out to the right hand side, take the left hand to the outside of the right knee, turn and look at the right hand, and then slowly bring that right leg over to the left hand side as we move into our spinal twist. Not going to be holding here for too long, just for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Slowly back to center. Right leg to the floor, left arm out to the side, right hand to the outside of the left knee, and we look to the left and bring that leg over to the right. Well done, guys. For 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Bring back to center, both legs coming down to the floor and closing those eyes down now, if you hadn't already. want you to bring one hand to the belly, one hand to the chest, and just start to really focus on that breathing in through the nose and out through the mouth. In through the nose, out through the mouth. In through the nose, out through the mouth. And bringing the hands down by the sides, palms facing the ceiling. Just allow the legs to sink however they want to sink into the mat as we just finish off today's class with a few moments for yourself. If you worked through our flow earlier rather than the child's pose, use this time to think of your one thing that you're pleased with from your training this week. And we're going to take that through into next week to power us and drive us through our training. Just going to leave you here for a few moments, and I'll come back and let you know when it's time to finish today's session. Now feel free to stay here if you'd like to. If you're ready to finish off today's session, then just slowly roll over to one side, keeping those eyes closed, and bring yourself into a little fetal position. Keeping those eyes closed again, just use the hands to push yourself up and bring yourself to cross-legged, again, using the opposite cross to how you normally would. Bringing the hands to the knees. Just want you to take a few shoulder rolls backwards. So bringing the shoulders up to the ears, round and back. And one more time, up to the ears, round and back. And whenever you're ready, just taking a nice deep breath in through the nose and a big sigh. And blinking those eyes back open. Well done, guys. I'm going to come on over. I think I'm losing my voice. It's gone very croaky. How are we doing? Are we feeling a little bit more zen, team? Did anyone have a nap? Did anyone have a nap? Rowan's like, I think I might have had a nap. Well done, everyone. So it was lovely to see you all this evening. I hope you enjoyed our little stretch. We've got some exciting stuff coming up next week. Next week is going to be Emma's first Sunday class teaching you all. So Emma is joining the coaching team as our new yoga teacher, which is really exciting. So she's going to be asking a few questions in the group chat over the next couple of days to find out what you would really like from that yoga class as well. So make sure to reply to those. Well done to everyone for another amazing week of training. I'll upload this session into True Coach later this evening, so it'll be there should you want to repeat it at all. I'll stay on the call now in case anyone's got any questions, but if not, enjoy the rest of your Sunday evening, get a good night's sleep, and happy Monday for tomorrow. Bye, guys.